Come on, guys, let's go. Come on, guys. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm the cat gardener. My name is Diana and I have a mini urban garden in St. Louis, which is zone 7A. It's really cold today as I'm standing out here on our first snow of the season. Even my cats don't want to go outside. I only have one cat who is brave enough to actually walk into the snow, and the other two avoid it at all costs. But in the days leading up to the snow, I have been winterizing my fig tree, so I want to show you how I did that today. For the last month, the fig has been losing its leaves slowly, and finally it lost its last leaves, so I knew it had gone dormant. And at that point, it's the time to winterize it by covering it up with straw and with plastic covering. So let me show you how I did that today. So I have two types of figs here. I have my in-ground fig, which is this giant thing back here that's lost all of its leaves, and then I have all of these figs in containers. So I managed to get some figs off of this Chicago Hardy this year, and I want to continue getting figs next year. So that means that I have to protect it in the winter. It can tolerate temperatures down to 10 degrees, but even though that means the roots are okay, these stems have to be protected up here. So today we're going to do that. We're going to stuff straw inside of it, and we're going to put tarp around it, and that will protect it. And these guys in the containers, they don't have as good of a root system as the in-ground, obviously, so they will only be able to tolerate temperatures down to 20 degrees. I have to put them in my basement so that they can go to sleep during the winter, they can go dormant, and come springtime I can bring them out again. So first, let's start with the big in-ground fig. But what I'm going to do is I want to use twine and try to get all of these branches to go towards the center here, and that way I can stuff all of this in between, all this empty area with straw or with leaves. So I have my twine here, and now we're going to tie all the branches together. By tying twine around all of the branches, I've effectively made a cage that will hold inside whatever I put, like straw or leaves. The other important thing to do, aside from stuffing the inside of the cage with straw, is to also do all of the outside nooks and crannies. So I made sure to get all of the corners, the entire back of it with straw, so that this offers the maximum protection possible from the winter. And finally, I realized I had these smaller branches towards the bottom of the tree. They were too short to tie up to the rest of the cage contraption I had made. So therefore, to winterize these smaller branches, I decided just to weigh them down with straw because they don't mind being bent at all. Ta-da! I made a monster. And now I'm going to cover it up with this tarp here. I made sure to leave a hole here at the top so that it can breathe in case we have some unseasonably warm days during the winter, and so it doesn't get too hot. All this protection around the fig should make it hold up really nicely against any kind of winter weather we get here, including snow. In fact, last year I did the same thing. That was my first year having a fig tree. I didn't even do the straw last year. I only did the plastic tarp, and it still came back to life in the spring and gave some figs in the summer. This year I hope to get even more protection by putting all the straw in there, and next year I hope to get an even bigger harvest of figs. And now let's turn to another thing that I did before the snow came. I amended my soil in order to prepare for blueberries for next season. So let me show you how I did that. So we're out here in my front garden where I have all this empty space that I want to put blueberries in next spring. Actually, it's not empty right now because I have my containers here, but I will be moving them so that I can prepare this area for blueberries. So blueberries need an incredibly low pH on the order of pH 4.5 to 5, which is very low because 2 months ago I measured the pH of the soil and it was about 7, so neutral. I knew I needed something that would be able to lower the pH considerably, so I did some research and saw that prilled sulfur is one way to lower it by a lot. 2 months ago I put this in there, I tilled it into the soil, and here we are now. Let's see what the pH is. Let's take some samples of the soil and measure the pH and see if we need to add more. I've got another bag here, and I'm sure we do because it takes a lot of this to get the pH to go from 7 to 4.5, right? So let's take a look at the soil here. You can see that I already put in these prills. It's these little yellow things all over the place. I'm just going to dig a little bit so that we get like the pH of what's actually deeply in there. And I want to be careful and only pick up the soil and not the actual little granules of sulfur, because obviously that's going to be at a much lower pH than the actual soil, than the surrounding soil. This is going to be our pH test. The soil's here with some water mixed in. This is water, and then this is white vinegar. So here's my strips, and these two are going to be my control to make sure that the strips are working. Okay, dunk it in there. And it's what you would expect. So this one is like pH of 3. This one, water, should be neutral, so it matches up with the green there. And now, let's see what our soil is. Okay. Get it mixed in. Hi, Luna. Do you want to test the pH too? Okay, I guess this looks so much like the water. Yeah, it's basically pH of 7. So all of the sulfur prills that I put in 2 months ago hasn't changed the pH one bit. So time to go throw in some more sulfur to get the pH down. This bag of sulfur prills gives you a chart telling you if you want to lower your pH to 4.5 and whatever your current pH is, here's how much to add based on different kind of soils. So my current pH is 7. I know I have clay soil rather than sandy soil, so it says that I need like 8 pounds of this stuff to get it to achieve a pH of 4.5, and it says to work it into the top 3 to 6 inches of soil and then water thoroughly. This bag is 5 pounds, so it's definitely less than 8 pounds, but for now I'll just dump it all in there, till it into the soil, and then maybe I'll just buy another bag of it and we'll see. And just to keep the granules from flying away, I'm going to put some straw on top, and that will actually help keep the moisture as well so that the granules keep dissolving sulfur into the soil. So that's it for now. We'll see where we land at pH-wise in the spring. Maybe I'll just have to buy more bags of that stuff to lower it even further. It seems like it's quite finicky and it takes a lot to lower pH, especially if you have clay soil like we do in St. Louis. But I know that the blueberries require really acidic soil, and without it, they just don't thrive. So I feel like I better get this right before I try to plant blueberries. That's it for today's video. Thank you for watching. If you liked it, please hit the like button down below. Please subscribe to my channel for updates, and I'll see you next time. Bye.